with your administration. Just how has this journey to a greater Lagos been since 2019?
Well, it's been exciting, I must tell you, and challenging too. Because if anybody tells you that it's been easy, that's not true. It's been challenging. Remember when Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, the governor, came in, it was around the time when it was raining, and people were complaining that our roads were bad and that we weren't facing roads. And nature later smiled on us, and the rains subsided, and he appointed contractors to go and fix the roads, and he equipped Public Works Corporation to go and do roads, and we started doing roads. And all of a sudden, people started complaining that it was slowing down traffic, and that Lagos was becoming a very huge, big construction site. And as we were working on that and some other things, coronavirus came. Everybody was caught in that, but and we were caught unawares. But in Lagos, we had already planned for it, because the Commissioner for Health told us very early in the day that the kind of trouble that they were facing in China, that concerning the virus, that was going to get to Lagos, because it was going to travel around the world. So we were well prepared for it. So bad as coronavirus has been, for us it has been a springboard in Lagos, a springboard for us to be able to do some other things, for us to be able to scale up infrastructure in the area of health, and for us to be able to devise better means of teaching our students. So it's been a very challenging journey, but very exciting, because it is full of achievements that Lagosians can see in roads, in transportation, in physical infrastructure, in health, in education.
Let's stay with the big point of the COVID-19 pandemic. It affected Nigeria and many nations around the world, but did that slow things down a bit for your administration as well?
Of course, it slowed things down, but like I said, we looked at it from the positive side. We use it as an opportunity to improve our infrastructure, to train our people in health, to build more capacity in the health sector, to build a better capacity in education, for us to put in technology to do things in area of education, in area of developing capacity for our young people, in area of health, building more hospitals, equipping our hospitals, building capacity in our health workers, and then building more roads. You know, we have used it as an opportunity for us to improve, especially in the area of the use of technology. Nowadays, we were the first executive council to hold our executive council meeting virtually, even before it was done in many places overseas. So it's been for us a mixed bag of the negative and the positive. But we, as the government, we are holding on to the positive side of it.
Yes, let's talk about security very briefly. Very recently, the country has suffered a lot of attacks. There were attacks on
police formations in many regions and many states at the moment. It has not happened in Lagos. We're not praying for it, apart from when it happened during the NSAS protest. But what is the state government doing differently to ensure that we don't get to see such attacks here in Lagos? Because there are fears, there are tensions about such happening in this part of the world.
Yeah, we are doing a lot in terms of security, and then the one that is clearly visible to people, if you remember on Monday, just on Monday, we called a stakeholders meeting on security. All of the security people were there, the police, the military. We had people, young people there, activists, civil society organizations, council chairmen, religious leaders, community leaders, traditional rulers. Everybody was there to talk about security in Lagos. And some resolutions were made at that meeting. And part of it was that the Lagos State government should ban the use of motorcycles for commercial purposes. That the Lagos State government should take control of uncompleted buildings and abandoned buildings, because people believe that this is where people of shady characters take refuge. And so many other things that were decided at that meeting. It's all to protect Lagos, because we believe that an attack on Lagos, on our security, is an attack on Nigeria, because Lagos is Nigeria's engine room, business and commercial engine room. Lagos is the center of technology. It leads in everything, and it's about the economy of Lagos is about the combination of five African countries put together. Is about the fifth largest economy in Africa. So we cannot, we as a government and we as a people, joke with the economy of Lagos. So that is why we convened that stakeholders meeting, and all of the other things that we are doing in security is here. We are strengthening our neighborhood watch. The guys who are in the neighborhoods to give information to security agencies on what is going on around them. We are supporting the police in every way. Very soon the government will be announcing donations of vehicles and other things to the police. We are strengthening the RRS. We are putting in more men in neighborhood watch. Very soon the governor is going to, he has announced that it's going to be done. We have just given the police 1,250 men to join the police constabulary unit. So a lot is being done in security. But security is not something that people can begin to say on television, or things that you can begin to see on pages of newspapers. But you have to feel what the government is doing. And because you and I can stay with our two eyes closed, shows that the government is not sleeping, and that the security agencies in Lagos, God bless them, they are not sleeping. They are doing their best to see that we all do our businesses in a safe and secure environment.
Let's stay a bit with security, but somehow it touched transportation as well. This issue of motorcycle riders, tricycle riders as well. There have been clashes in very recent times by two and somewhere along the island very recently. From the meeting you have just mentioned, the security meeting was convened, the resolutions there. You said they've called for an outright ban on motorcycle riders. What's the position of the state government? Is that in the pipeline?
Yeah, the state government spoke. Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, the governor, he spoke on that day after listening to all of the things that people said, and considering the resolution at the meeting, he said very soon, in the coming days. In fact, he said next week that he was going to make a pronouncement on commercial motorcycles and all the other resolutions that people made, and that the state government has the political will to implement all the recommendations. And part of the recommendations, in fact, top of it, everybody was saying it, that Okada should be banned. And he said, well, the first time we restricted the commercial motorcycles to about 470 of our roads and bridges and highways, that people said we didn't provide an alternative. Now nobody is even talking about an alternative, because they have seen the danger of allowing commercial motorcycles cycles to continue. They have seen that more and more people are having their heads bashed, their limbs broken, and their health impaired, all because they are choosing that mode of transportation, which we have always said does not belong to the greater Lagos that we are talking about. So he said by next year we are going to be introducing what we call the last mile and the first mile buses that will be able to ply the places, the routes that these motorcycles are going on. And once he introduces those buses, then he can make a pronouncement on commercial motorcycles. And this is going to happen next week. We are going to have a ceremony. We are going to inaugurate those buses. There are about 350 of them that are ready now, but We are going to thousands of them, 2,000, 2,500 of them. But as I speak with you now, between 350 and 500 are ready. And we are going to inaugurate them next week. And at that inauguration of the buses, Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, the governor, will now tell Lagosians his own stand, the government stand on commercial motorcycles. And Lagosians have spoken. They say they don't want them anymore because they have seen that this mode of transportation constitutes not just health hazard, it's a security risk too.
Raising the ideas of the micro buses to maybe put an end to these motorcycles and all of that. Lagos is very peculiar with traffic and gridlock. Bringing in more vehicles or more micro buses won't that even worsen the situation in terms of the man hours we lost or lose on traffic?
It's not going to worsen anything at all. If anything, it's going to enhance it, because first Lagosians they decide to travel in a comfortable means. Commercial motorcycle is not comfortable. These buses are comfortable, and they are not going to be going on highways. They are going to be going into the inner streets, where Okada riders or commercial motorcycle riders are now prominent, where they feature. These are the places that the last mile and first mile buses will be going into to bring out people who are going to be travel on the main roads, to bring them out of their inner streets down to the main roads. So they can't contribute anything to traffic situation now, which we are also doing a lot to resolve, because it's not intractable as some people think. And I do not think nowadays that the traffic is bad as it used to be when you take away just some parts of the state.
Let me just let's get the impact on Lagosians. Are happier?
Now, I think the Lagosians are happier. They are not disappointed with Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu. I have gone through a lot of reviews, and then we have research to show for it. They want more. They feel the governor can do more. But all in all, generally, they are happy with the governor. They have seen that it's a governor that doesn't just keep quiet. It takes action when action needs to be taken. And that he has, most of the things he has done have been very, very positive, and they have great impact. Look at coronavirus, for example. When it came, people felt that we were going to be picking bodies on the streets. But because of the governor's diligence, because of his leadership qualities, that did not happen. And apart from that, we have now used coronavirus as a stepping stone, as a kind of a springboard to do some other great things that people are applauding today. I mean, now we are commissioning new schools. We are seeing bright equipment in our hospitals. We are breaking the ground for big projects like the Massey Street Hospital, like the red line of the railway. And we are doing a lot of things on the waterways. So people are seeing all of these things, that despite COVID-19 and the way Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, the governor, led the battle against it, governance has not stopped at all, and it keeps on going. And the achievements are there for all of us to see in education, in health, in transportation, in technology, in good governance. All of the things that we put in our team's agenda, the 6-pillar agenda, development agenda that Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu has for Lagos, and that he is executing now with his cabinet.
The final question will just simply be, what would be your message to Nigerians at this time? What should Lagosians expect the next 2 years, the end of this tenure?
Lagosians should be expecting in the next 2 years. Lagosians should be expecting great projects from Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu. He has promised them that before the end of his tenure, that train will move in Lagos. The red line that will be running from Oyigbo to Agbado, that it will move. He has done the groundbreaking ceremony, and work has started already. the compensation has been paid to people who are going to be affected by that project. And for the first time, the government is paying compensation not only to landlords who are going to be losing their properties, but the government is paying compensation to even tenants who are going to be displaced. And then the blue line that will be moving from Marina to Komai 2, he has promised you that one too will be ready. And in fact, we have had a financial closure. So the money for the blue line, the red line, the money is ready. So nothing can stop the project from being executed in the time of Mr. Biden Sanwo-Olu as the governor. And apart from that, the regional road that we are going to do it, the Lekki-Epe Expressway will be ready. The 6-lane road, that road was built 40 years ago, and then we are trying to rebuild it now by expanding it to 6 lanes so that people along that corridor can really have a feel of governance. And Epe is very important to Lagos State government, like every other part of the state. But because of that corridor, that is where you have so many industries springing up now. That's where you have Lekki Free Trade Zone. That's where you have Lagos Free Trade Zone. So we are doing a lot along that corridor that we will be able to do. Then the new Mercy Street Children's Hospital, which the hospital that was built in 1940, and then it became fully pediatrics hospital in 1961. We are building a new one. About 3 weeks ago, the governor went to do the groundbreaking. So the Goshians are going to see a brand new Mercy Street Children's Hospital. We are building a mental health hospital in Epe. The Goshians are going to see it because people don't talk about mental health, and it's a very important aspect of health. So we are going to see a new mental hospital. Then we are going to build a research center in IDH Yaba. That research center, recently when we had this outbreak of coronavirus, we were waiting on the Western world to give us a vaccine. Whereas we have brains here in Nigeria, all over Africa, we can do that. So the government is going to provide that center for such people to be able to work and be able to bring out a vaccine that will suit our environment, a vaccine that will tackle whatever health challenge that may come up here. So the Goshians will see a lot of things. We are going to be doing the groundbreaking by December, by God's grace, of the 40 Milan Bridge that will come from all the way from Lekki down to Kurudu and come out of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. So all of these things, the Goshians should be ready to witness.
So just one final question now. There are talks about the third wave of the pandemic being addressed alongside the Commission of Health. Just briefly touch on that.
Well, it's not that we're having a third wave. What we are trying to do is to prevent a third wave. To remind Lagosians that even a country like India that's had it good during the second wave, all of a sudden slipped into this horrible scene that we are seeing all over India now, where the medical services are overwhelmed, where there is so much pain and tears in the land. We don't want that kind of thing in Nigeria. We don't want that kind of thing in Lagos. So we are keeping an eye on people coming into Lagos to our airport. The traffic coming in from overseas to Nigeria, almost 90% of it comes through Lagos. So we are keeping an eye on this so that Lagosians can be safe and secure against this disease, so that we don't have a third wave. We are also stepping up advocacy. We are also going ahead with the vaccination regime as prescribed by the federal government. So all of the things that we were saying yesterday are just to assure Lagosians that we are on top of the situation and seek their cooperation, that we are not out of the woods yet, that we have to obey the COVID-19 protocols, non-pharmaceutical protocols that we have been told to obey and observe. so that we can also, all of us, join hands together to ensure that we don't fall victim of this thing and that it doesn't come again, so that we don't have a third wave. That's what we are trying to do.
Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with Galaxy TV.
Thank you.